there are a lot of different ways to help a person, to support. So the word support has a lot of different definitions and contexts within which it can be defined and applied. So one of those definitions is within wanting to support someone who's going through a difficult time, someone who's struggling with something in life, and you want to be there for them. You want to help them get through it. You want to be their shoulder to cry on, or you want to offer them financial support, or give them a place to stay, or help protect them from the big bad world. And in the process of doing that, you see an interesting thing developing where the more you're trying to help them, the less capable they seem to be of helping themselves. So this actually brings into question, is that really supporting someone if it has that result? And this is a kind of relationship dynamic that we see in pretty much any relationship, but it's quite common in parents towards their kids, especially these days, where you see a parent overprotecting their child, protecting them from the world, not letting them experience anything, not letting them make mistakes, not letting them do anything to really learn what life is all about and to learn how to take a tumble and get up again. And we see it in parents not helping empower their kids to become independent, where they shelter their kids and the children turn into adults who are incapable of looking after themselves because they just don't know how to, so they're still living with their parents. And this dynamic, while that's a very nice example to use, it can be seen in any relationship. It can be between brother and sister, between partners in a relationship, between friends. And the general signature is someone wanting to help so much and actually doing so much for someone else that they end up disempowering, or not end up disempowering the person, but they're not giving that person space to empower themselves. And they're not supporting that person by teaching them how they can empower themselves. So it's a very disempowering dynamic, and it becomes a sort of codependent cycle, the self-fulfilling prophecy, where the one person needs help and the other person gives help. And the more the person who needs help gets help, the less they have to look after themselves, the less they have to do for themselves. And they just kind of like turn into this, let's call it a leech, this life force sucking entity that just attaches to this person who keeps feeding them. I know that's a pretty extreme example, but in some cases it does get to be that extreme. It actually does turn into a really destructive, codependent, self-fulfilling prophecy relationship thing, and no one benefits in the end because everyone at the end of the day is disempowered because of this dynamic. So it's a really good opportunity for us to reflect on what it really means to support someone, because if your support that you're providing is not also giving the space and giving the opportunity and giving the tools for the person you're helping to actually start empowering themselves and supporting themselves, then are you actually supporting them? Are you doing it for them, or is there something within yourself that you're trying to fulfill through looking after someone? But this, again, this looking after is not actually looking after, because at the end of the day, you're abusing yourself and and disempowering someone else, and no one's going to come out of that happy. So a process of reflection is a good place to start, to see what's the nature of my relationship with the different people in my life. And when I help someone, when I do something for someone else, when I lend them money, when I buy something for them, when I offer them something like a place to stay or the use of something or whatever, who am I within that? What is my intention? What is driving me to do that? Am I trying to make myself feel better about something? Am I feeling sorry for that person? Am I trying to protect my relationship with them? What, if it's a parent and a child, is the parent feeling so overly responsible for the safety of that child that they lose sight of what it means to prepare the child for life, for actual, real, challenging, helmet-requiring life? And so through that process of reflection of, okay, what is my starting point within this support? And is that actually what I want to do? We can then come to that place of making that assessment of, is this actually how I want to live the word support? Am I actually supporting this person? Am I actually supporting myself even? And if the answer is no, well, then some adjustments may be required. And for those who've been in a cycle like that for a long time and are now at a point of saying, you know what, this is not actually what I want to keep doing, it can be very challenging to break that cycle because it's turned into an obligation. It's turned into this almost like a self-definition, and it's expected of them. And sometimes even the people who are being supported learn how to manipulate quite effectively and learn how to effectively get their way. So within that becomes necessary to learn how to say no, to learn how to say until here and no further. This, I can see what I'm doing here, I can see what I'm creating, and I no longer accept it. I'm no longer going to keep creating it. It's time for me to do it differently. And how that differently might look, that is for individual situations and people to assess and test out and see what works and what doesn't work. At the end of the day, that reflection, that questioning of who am I actually within this and what am I actually creating, being willing to honestly look at ourselves and see who we are within our actions and our words. That's the important part. And then making a decision and actually living that decision and creating a new way forward. So easy? No. What is easy in life? But at the end of the day, it's certainly going to be more supportive for us to be able to recognize the reality of who we are, the reality of what we're doing, and to really reflect on and decide if that's what we want to keep creating. We are, at the end of the day, the directive and creative principles of each of our lives. It's up to us to make decisions. Sometimes they're hard decisions. And create our lives the best way that we're able to. Right, thank you for watching. You're going to see me next time.